The moment my best friend grabbed my hand in the middle of that crowded afternoon cafe and whispered, "Act like my boyfriend," I thought she was only trying to escape an awkward conversation. But when I saw the fear behind her smile, the tremble in her fingers, and the man standing near the glass door staring at her like she was something he owned, I realized this was not a joke. It was the beginning of something neither of us was ready to admit, something that would change the shape of our friendship forever. Before the story begins, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet love that sometimes hides inside friendship, please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Lifeline Hub for more emotional stories that touch the heart. My name is Arman Hale, and for most of my life, I thought love was something loud. I thought it came with grand confessions, dramatic music, flowers at the doorstep, and promises written in perfect timing. I never imagined it could be sitting beside me for 7 years, stealing fries from my plate, mocking my terrible handwriting, remembering how I took my coffee, and calling me every time her world felt too heavy to carry alone. Her name was Saira Venn. She was not the kind of person you forgot after meeting once. She had bright eyes that always looked stronger than she felt, a laugh that could warm a room, and a habit of pretending everything was fine even when her entire heart was falling apart behind her calm face. That day was a clear Saturday afternoon, the kind where sunlight poured across the city in golden sheets and made everything look softer than it really was. We had met at our usual cafe near the bookstore because Saira said she needed to talk. She arrived wearing a pale blue dress, her hair tied loosely, her face beautiful but tired in a way I noticed immediately. I teased her at first, asking if she had finally come to confess that she could not live without my excellent advice, but she barely smiled. She kept looking toward the window, then at her phone, then at the entrance, as if expecting someone she desperately did not want to see. I asked her what was wrong, but before she could answer, the bell above the cafe door rang. Her face changed so fast it frightened me. All the color drained from her cheeks. Her hand reached across the table and grabbed mine with sudden force. Then she leaned closer, her voice barely breathing against the noise of cups and chairs, and said, "Act like my boyfriend." For a second, I froze. We had joked about many things, but never that. I looked at her, waiting for laughter, waiting for some explanation, but her eyes were fixed on the man who had just walked in. He was tall, well-dressed, and smiling in a way that did not feel kind. He scanned the cafe until he found her. Then his smile widened. Saira's fingers tightened around mine, and suddenly the role she asked me to play stopped feeling like a role at all. The man came to our table as if he had every right to be there. His name was Raheel, I learned later, though Saira said it like a word she hated. He looked at our joined hands, then at me, then back at her. His voice was polite, but there was something sharp underneath it. He asked if this was the boyfriend she had mentioned. Saira swallowed, then nodded. I do not know what came over me, but I moved my chair closer to her and said yes before she had to speak again. I told him we were having lunch and asked if he needed something. My voice sounded calm, but inside, my heart was beating like it had been caught stealing. Raheel laughed softly. He said he only wanted to check on her because she had stopped answering his calls. Saira's hand was still in mine, cold and trembling. I looked at her then, not as my playful best friend, not as the girl who sent me ridiculous memes at midnight, but as someone who had been carrying fear alone because she did not want to trouble anyone. That realization hurt more than I expected. I gently squeezed her hand, and she looked at me with a gratitude so quiet it nearly broke me. Raheel finally left after a few tense minutes, but the sunlight in the cafe no longer felt warm. Saira pulled her hand away slowly, as if embarrassed by how much she had needed me. She apologized again and again, saying she should not have dragged me into it. I told her to stop apologizing and explain. At first, she resisted. Then the truth came out in pieces. Raheel was not exactly an ex, not officially. He was someone her family had introduced, someone who became too attached too quickly, someone who mistook politeness for permission. He had been showing up outside her office, messaging her late at night, telling people they were practically engaged, and making her feel trapped in a story she never agreed to live. I felt anger rise in me, but beneath it was guilt. How had I not known? How had I sat beside her for years and missed the shadows under her jokes? She said she did not tell me because I always seemed busy, because my father's illness had already taken so much from me, because she did not want to become another burden. That word stayed with me. Burden. She had no idea that many days, she was the only reason I remembered how to breathe. My father had passed away 8 months earlier, and I had been living like someone moving through fog. I worked, paid bills, answered messages, and told everyone I was fine. Saira was the one who came over with soup when I forgot to eat. She was the one who sat silently on the floor while I sorted his old photographs. She was the one who never forced me to talk but never left me alone in the silence either. And now, when she needed someone, she had convinced herself she had no right to ask. After that afternoon, everything changed in small ways. I started walking her to her car after work. I checked in more often. We told her family, carefully, that she was not interested in Raheel. But he did not disappear immediately. He sent flowers to her office. He waited outside her apartment building once. He called from unknown numbers. Each time, Saira tried to laugh it off, but I could see the exhaustion growing in her. The fake boyfriend story became a shield we used more than once, and every time she slipped her hand into mine in public, my heart betrayed me a little more. I told myself it was just protection. Just friendship. Just two people surviving a difficult situation. But the line between pretending and feeling began to blur. One afternoon, we were walking through a park after meeting her aunt, who had asked far too many questions about our so-called relationship. Saira was laughing for the first time in days, sunlight caught in her hair, and without thinking, she rested her head on my shoulder. It was only for a moment, but something inside me went still. I had known her for years,